This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad and live today. Our gospel story today is a familiar one that we're taught at the youngest of ages as Jesus feeds a crowd of 5,000 with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. It's a miracle that causes us to ask the obvious question as to how was he able to do it? It seems impossible to the rational mind. We can certainly guess what went down on that day. Maybe Jesus used divine powers unknown to us in order to multiply that food many times over. Maybe the disciples presenting the 5 loaves and 2 fish inspired others to give of their own lunches, and thus the generosity of the masses was enough to feed everyone. Or maybe the fish was too stinky, the bread was too moldy, and everyone said, I'm good. I'm not hungry at all. Case in point, about 20 years ago, I had taken a group of junior high kids to enjoy Camp Chrysalis in Kerrville for the week. One evening, it poured so much rain that it flooded out the low water crossing that led to the camp. No one could come in, no one could go out, including the food service truck that was supposed to be making a delivery that morning. Now, this made the kitchen staff very nervous because they were almost out of food. They didn't know what they would be serving the hungry campers for lunch the next day. So they would have to improvise. As we entered the camp lodge to eat lunch, we were greeted with anything edible that was left in the kitchen, which meant that lunch would be hot dog buns and cherry pie filling. Quite the combo. Not surprising at all. We heard a lot of comments in a similar vein of, I'm good, I'm not hungry at all. And guess what? There was plenty of food left over. Now, we don't know the particulars of this feeding miracle of Jesus, and we never will. In fact, those details really aren't that important. What is important is understanding why Jesus does what he does, and that begins by taking a look at the events leading up to the mass feeding. Now, I find these events to be very interesting. Our gospel story begins with this phrase. Jesus heard about the beheading of John the Baptist. He withdrew from there in a boat to a deserted place by himself. You see, John the Baptist was Jesus' cousin, the forerunner paving the way for the Messiah with a message to prepare the way of the Lord and to make his paths straight. John the Baptist had a large following. He was a little weird and out there, but he was respected, and many people flocked from all over the region in order to be baptized by him and to hear his message personally. The news of John's death must have been devastating to Jesus. It must have made him absolutely sick. No question that he was shocked and grief-stricken, needing a place to mourn properly. So he withdraws to a deserted place by himself. He probably was trying to bring some clarity to the situation and trying to process the human feelings that he was experiencing. And who could blame him? Wouldn't we do the same thing? Retreat to a place where we are all alone in order to sort things out? Whether it's the North Woods of Minnesota, the wide expanses of West Texas, or just a private room in your own home, sometimes we need that time to be by ourselves so that we can think and so we can feel. But as the story goes, we know that Jesus isn't going to have his private moment for long. The crowd in this story, the people, they sniff Jesus out like bloodhounds in search of a clue. They find his place of respite with ease. You see, these folks, they have their own concerns that they are wrestling with, and they want Jesus to help them out. They've heard the stories, they've seen firsthand his incredible miracles of healing, and they seek the same for themselves. Jesus not only obliges and heals the masses, he goes above and beyond everyone's expectations, and he feeds the people, satisfying their hunger pangs until their bellies are filled up. The people are hungry, and Jesus feeds them with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. My question for us today is this. What is it that you are hungry for? What is it that you're hungry for? What are you really, really hungry for? What is it that you crave in your life that you currently do not have or experience? We see time and time again people in our gospel readings who are hungry. Think about the 10 lepers who were outcast, living out there on the fringes of town due to their skin ailments. I mean, they wanted nothing more than to rejoin their families that they have been separated from. They approach Jesus, and he satisfies their hunger for community by healing them of their leprosy. Think about Zacchaeus, the tax collector, who was short in stature and climbed up in a tree in order to see Jesus. He hungered to change his ways of cheating people out of their money, and he believed that Jesus was just the guy to do this. Jesus summoned Zacchaeus to come on down from that tree and invited himself over to Zacchaeus' house for dinner. There, Zacchaeus had his hunger to change satisfied as he listened to the words of Jesus and vowed to pay back those that he had swindled. Think about the woman caught in adultery. Here was a woman who had been cheating on her husband, and she faced a punishment of death by stoning. Before her accusers could put her to death, Jesus jumps in to say, "The one who is without sin may cast the first stone." One by one, the crowd disappears, and the woman is left alone with Jesus. Jesus heals her hunger for forgiveness and instructs the woman to go and sin no more. Now, we could go on, but I think we get the picture. So I ask once again, what is it that you are hungry for? Maybe your hunger is for forgiveness. Maybe you hunger for community or companionship. Maybe you hunger to be loved and to be accepted. Maybe you hunger for peace and security. Maybe you hunger to have significance and to matter. Or maybe you hunger to have purpose and to be able to contribute to society. No matter what hunger you possess, we have good news on this day because we receive all of these things through Jesus Christ. He satisfies our hunger pangs and more, just as he satisfied the crowd of 5,000. And better yet, no matter the circumstance or the timing or what hunger you possess, God's focus is on you. Just as Jesus took time out of his well-deserved time of rest in order to serve the people, we too are assured that he will do the same for us. God is never too busy or preoccupied or too distant for his people. God is here for us, reminding us on a daily basis that he loves us and that he will be filled with whatever we are hungry for. God doesn't just fill up our cups. Our cups overflow with his mercy and goodness and love. Experience this abundance of God and turn to him in faith. Amen. Remember as you go about your day that yesterday is gone. Tomorrow does not yet belong to you. So why not live today, knowing that you never walk alone? We will see y'all next week. Later.